I know what we're talking about.
Can you move it?
Hello, everybody. I believe that we're live now, but I don't know if anybody's there yet. So please, when you come on, a big hello, a big good day, and a big love heart to you all. Give us a message. We have a few people here today, don't we? We've got myself. We've got the fabulous Claire Petulengro. We have got the fabulous Honey Petulengro as well. And we've also got the amazing Piper Lishman here. We've got Puja saying hello. We've got Mary saying hello. People are starting to arrive now, which is fantastic. Tell us, how is your day gone? How is it going already? Gavin Stewart saying hi, everybody. Now, if I put these comments up, can you see them, Piper and Piper?
I can see them now. I got them.
I can see them.
Right, okay, so that's Sharon saying hi Lara and everyone. We've got hi guys from Annette. We've got Nicole Nickturn as well. Hello, beautiful ladies. Puja wants to know how we're all doing. Kat Groves is in the house as well. Hello, Kat. A big hello to everybody that's just shown up. As you can see, look, I've already got the
Look.
Right, so I'm not sure if anybody, we're all here. If you're on Facebook and watching this, please like and follow, because we can't see your comments unless you do both. But also, please share into groups, share into watch parties, share with your friends. Piper's on screen with us, so we're practically tying our hands from sharing with everybody today. So we're relying on you guys. So we are. Piper's relying on you. She normally has our back there.
Yep, she's sorted out.
Hi, Claire.
Hi, Natasha. How are you doing? Thank you so much for all your well wishes. I know I wasn't 100% last night, but it felt so good to come back. And I've got Honeybee with me. We've been in the garden laying and reading. So I've been reading my booklet. You've been reading your book, haven't you? And
I just noticed what she put up. I was in a live with Spirit and Destiny with Beverly. Do you know Beverly at Spirit and Destiny?
Yes.
Look at that, Small World.
Wow, that's fantastic. How is Beverly? How is everybody out there? I'm loving the sunshine. We're lucky enough to have a very, very small garden, aren't we, honey? But I know that Piper was going to interview us and talk to us about young psychics, weren't you, Piper? I've got to look the opposite way to talk to you.
Well, yeah, no.
Listen, Claire and I were on for ages, even after the live last night, trying to get the head turned right.
I don't know. But I've got Honey here with me because we were discussing young psychics, and one of the things that people come up about and talk about is when their children develop psychic abilities. And one of the interesting points for me is, of course, Honey, when did you find out you were psychic?
When I predicted something.
But did you ever think you weren't psychic?
No.
Because see, Honey was brought up in a family of psychics, so we expected her to predict things. There wasn't pressure on her, but we were all making predictions. So to you, do you think it was more normal to know that people have psychic abilities?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And you use yours every day in life, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just it. It's like you've got to have the definition of normal, don't you, Piper? Is that we're brought up thinking that the way that we're schooled, how we're being educated, that sort of thing, and it's actually only a singular view, most of it, isn't it? And then we're told that if we dare to think or be able to perceive out with that, there's something wrong with us, that we're not normal. But normal, can I just tell you, when they take a collective, just to be has to be slightly over 50%, or say if you split things, people into 5 categories, you're going to get a larger percentage. But what if that percentage was only like 20%?
Seagulls, sorry.
Seagulls have got lots to say, by the way. They totally understand.
Really, yeah.
Well, you need to understand, the seagulls are actually quite right. I'm going to interpret what they're saying. They're talking about Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Right, you probably are too young to remember this, but it's a small book. I read it in half an hour on the train. It's really that small, right? And I loved it. It is one of my most favourite books. And the reason why I read it was because my dad was a fan of Neil Diamond, right?
Love Neil Diamond.
Soundtrack for Jonathan Livingston. So I grew up with this, the old record, nothing like CDs or even, iPods and stuff then, and some amazing music. So I read the story, and it was exactly about that. It's about a seagull, right, who was not normal. He asked questions that other seagulls were saying that's above your pay grade, basically, right? Yeah. Don't go swanning off to see what's over there. You got to stick with the pack, right? This is what we know, right? If you're out with this pack, you're going to be vilified. You're going to be cast aside. But it turned out when there was a disaster, right?
Yeah.
Because of the way that he learned to fly below a certain level and that he escaped it, right? So what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, right, being the way he was just different, right? It wasn't, and to be celebrated for their own skill set rather than thinking that you've got to be normal and then you feel a failure if you're not deemed as normal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Piper? Yeah.
It does indeed. Neil Diamond, he was famous for saying the words hello in a song before Adele even thought of them, wasn't he? Do you remember hello?
Yeah, it's Neil. It's all about Neil. Definitely.
But talking about seagulls, this is a seagull feather on my hand because my father, I'm 48 now, my father died when I was 21 and said he'd come back as a seagull to me. And it's approaching the time of his death. And so we've got this seagulls. It's like they're having a seagull party, isn't it, lately? More and more seagulls come round. So
oh my God, yeah.
It's kind of funny when they come and they sit on a little roof up here and they look at us like, come on then. Talk to us.
Walking to them like they're having a proper scrap, don't they? And having a really good argument and stuff and sort stuff out.
When they look at you, they're thinking, why don't you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just a batty old gypsy. Take no notice of me. What about you, Piper?
Listen, we were out the back with Toby 2 days ago, and Toby, there was a robin that came right up to us, right, and looked us right at, well, me specifically, right in the eye. And then, what does he want? They don't normally come as close as that, right? And then today, one of my sons said that he put a crisp out for a bird, and his friend had put a cheese and onion hula hoop, I think it was, and he scoffed it. But this bird was tapping at the window, like kept banging into the window, right? Yeah. And my son, who's working, he's still going to work, he's still out there. He's going, but I left you a barbecue crisp out there. What's going on? I said, clearly he'd rather have the cheese and onion rather than the barbecue. He's like, I have noticed that we can hear all the individual bird noises out there now. If you take away all the traffic and all the noise and stuff,
we have some bushes outside of our back garden here, and there's a whole new nest of birds that have been born. And just to watch it and hear it in the mornings. And at first you wake up, you're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe it's 6:30 and I'm up and there's no school. But actually you get up and you look at nature. But I've got to ask a question. Exactly. Nicole Nickton, you said, what's normal? Piper, what were your first experiences not being brought up in a Romany Gypsy family or with the background that Lara has? When did you first realize that you had this connection with all things esoteric? I'm looking at you now because I'm looking the opposite way because the camera.
Well, personally, I think there's over 7 billion normal, because no one's normal. They're quite, everyone's unique. Like everyone on here is quite unique. So I definitely don't think that, it's quite a tricky thing, to be honest, because no one's normal. I definitely don't think that anyone is normal, but they are normal in their own way, if you know what I mean.
Normal to them, exactly. They don't know any different. I had a daughter who was terminally ill. She's been gone for about 25 years now, and I still miss her every day. But I remember when I was like panicking because she couldn't move from the neck down, right? And I was like, oh my God, she must be really suffering. And the doctors told me, but she was born like that. She doesn't know any other life. Like she doesn't know any difference, from that, which is exactly what Piper's saying, is that normal is relevant to the individual. When you're born that way, like when somebody calls you weird or not normal, it's a bloody insult or what? Because that's like,
I don't know about you two, but I've always been called those words. So to me, they no longer insult me. To me, they tell me that the person who's used those words doesn't understand anything about what I do, what I represent, who I am. And just like with the trolls that we've had, and I posted after I blocked them and I put a post about it, it's always been, I'm so sorry for you because you must be going through a lot of pain to not be in the place that we're at.
That's right. Awful themselves.
Yeah, honestly, exactly.
Stop there just typing and typing, just leave her alone. Honestly, no, the thing that got me is when we're saying about fridges, saying, are you going to deliver a fridge? I'm not being funny. I'm 15. I can't drive.
But you look older, you see. Right, so they've gone back.
I was upset that I missed that live because they were so harmless. There's other trolls out there as well, but it shows that people are bored. So maybe we need to do more lives now I'm back and healthy and give people education. It's all about educating ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. That's right, exactly. I mean, I don't know how your day started, girls, right? But before we go on, and I've got my cards here, and we're going to give a couple of readings and stuff, so don't panic, guys. But please, just now, to get the energy going in the room, which is why we're talking, right, is to share. Please like and follow my page. Oh my God, she's got the glittery bag out. I'm always sucker for a bit of glitter. Look at that.
Yeah, I want some other tarot cards today. Could you go and get the green Grandatello? They're on the table.
I got a postman key. And I got these. Right, I can't. Right, I got my letter from Boris. Letter from Boris, right? The fact that he has got coronavirus and he's in intensive care, I'm worried because if he's posted this individually, right? I had to disinfect it, obviously, because obviously he signed it.
You'll be fine.
He ended up in intensive care. The guy was working his ass off sending everybody letters. Seriously. No, all joking aside, I really do wish him well. But I thought it was funny that we got the look at that, the Downing Street letter and Claire's oils arrived today. I'm trying to get in the camera view, right? And this wonderful smell.
If I could, but I can't.
And I got little messages and scrolls and stuff as well with them. It was just fabulously packed.
The theory behind
the letterbox if you wanted, like that, although I wouldn't, and they all had love. It really was. So there's a sign, guys, because we're connection people, right? And we see things like this. To other people, it might have been quite random. But I think that with the letter, with the coronavirus, with antibacterial stuff, right, there's other healthier, less toxic ways that are suitable for your system, because a lot of these oils have photosynthetic synthetic properties, which means that they mimic your own hormones and they mimic your own system to give your system a boost, right? Which don't include steroids when you think about it, all right? Which don't include steroids.
Clever.
Yeah.
Clever.
So basically,
when girls, you just talk amongst yourselves.
Bless you. When I went over to Italy and I was creating my tarot cards, I met this guy called Nino through Sarah Taylor, who you know, and it was just this thing. I had to go and see the essential oils that he produced. And we went to his grow farm, and Richard said to me, whatever you do not place an order. We're going to look around, we're going to go, we're going to have a cup of coffee, and we're going to discuss it. And I was like, okay, you've told me, he knows what I'm like, that Scorpio, get in there. And I was mesmerized. I mean, you guys saw the photographs and the videos. And this guy, it's an organic farm. Everything is biodegradable in his packaging. It's 100% the purest form of the essential oil. And the thing with them fruits is the goodness is in the skin. And when we eat a piece of fruit, obviously, half the time we don't eat the skin. And so that's why when you have smoothies and things, it's good to have the core and everything in it. So the essence behind essential oils is that these are ingestible ones. So you can also use them in cooking and flavorings. I use them in a burner. Mandarin oils, for example, are really good for calming. If you look up a lot of medical notes with them, then they're proven to help stop a lot of growths growing. Not to get better, but not to grow any further. But of course, lemon essential oil, it's all the skin of the lemon, of the lemon, and it's antiviral and antibacterial. So guys, don't worry and don't queue up for 2 hours around Waitrose. Get your essential oils, if not mine, someone else's. Dilute them, make your anti-bac surface sprays. Honey and Lucy and I, we've been making our own sanitizer sprays. And unfortunately, we can't sell them because it's a different license I have to get from selling essential oils. It's more of a chemist license. But you can get the recipes on my page. And essential oils are in the way forward. Fresh fruit, fresh veg, all of the honey, the iron, vitamin C's and D's. And then we've got this thing, guys.
Exactly.
I would like a favor right now, please, guys. There's something I forgot to do before the live, and I'm so sorry. Natasha Lothian, you've just said about domestic abuse. Please get me the number. And guys, can all three of us now write the number that someone needs to get us to put on our hands, please, so that when we're doing lives, as far as domestic abuse is concerned, it's something I'm really passionate about, and I really would like everybody on here to have a number to ring. Somebody just written about being in a domestic abuse situation, and I can't see where the name's gone now. But this is a time to come together. We're here to give you fun, individual readings, but guys, this is the time. If something's making you unhappy or hurting you, then reach out. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Sorry, I was moving out the way before.
In fact, if you have a look on my post, honey, can you go back on my post? It's on there. On my post, we're going to find it, guys. You carry on talking, Piper, because you wanted to say some things. I know you did. You got the stage.
Before we go any further, great to have you there. Right, if you're still there watching right now, because the comments have slowed down, please share it to groups, share it to pages, share it to friends. And please like and follow my page and Piper Jane Lishman's page, because she's on today. She wants to talk about psychic children and also and the benefits that being in touch with your intuition has in making good decisions as a teenager. All right, that's
and also if you have children, because I know last night, Lara, you did say most people in my generation are born awake or something like that. So it'd be quite nice to share the message and, you know, get them in the page so then they could maybe see their abilities.
Well, that's right. And it's quite interesting. I had years ago, 2 of my children got shortlisted to 2 of the 6 most psychic kids in the UK. Right, there were 6 of them. One of them, both of them, they were both under the age of 11. Can I just say that? Right, so they're quite young. And it was a big American TV show with people, but the guy was British. That's why he came over and he wanted to get the psychic kids for this. I think, is it Coffee Sunday or other? They ended up going for an American lad, I think, in the end, and that was the psychic that they used. But anyway, cutting a long story short, my children were brought up with me in my classes when I had students, a bit like Claire's, you know, where you're in amongst. I didn't have the family to involve them, you know, with that. I had the family, but they didn't do the psychic thing like me or understood about the power of the intuition and making certain decisions. And at times I was probably looked at going, what the hell is she doing? Why is she doing that? And why is nobody saying anything? And then it would turn out that actually I'd gone to the place that everybody should have been to begin with, and it's because they hadn't listened to me, right? But further down the line, I mean, now my children are older, right? They're making decisions. Hang on a minute, they're making decisions.
Lara, I've got the number on here that Nicole Nickton has put on National Domestic Abuse Helpline. That's just come up. So, you want me to read it out here?
Is that what Claire's got?
Pardon?
This is the one.
Yeah, she's put the National Domestic Abuse Helpline on the comments. And we've also got a USA one as well.
Is this a UK one?
Yeah, there's a UK one and a USA one, but I'll read you the UK one out. So 0808
yeah
2000
yeah
is 2000 247.
Right, okay.
Right. Are you wanting the USA one as well? Just for people that
my hand's not big enough. We need to do a post for the Samaritans and for everything as well. So people have got all the they need. I think, guys, one of the things that happens in lockdown is we experience emotions that we wouldn't naturally experience if we were going about our day-to-day jobs and mixing with people. And one of the things that I've written about in my books, and I know Lara's touched on in her books that she's written too, is that we often spend more time with the people that we work with than those we choose to live with. And so our allotment of time is out of kilter and out of balance. And so putting on an act with things that, you know, normally irritate you and not being irritated, everything is under a microscope, isn't it?
Ian Rawlinson says this: in an abusive situation, if you're able to call emergency services, ask for a pizza for delivery. This lets the emergency team know you need help and can't talk openly. You take your details as if you're ordering a takeaway. Right. Very good, Ian. Thank you so much for that.
There's also a post going around. Yeah, there's also a post going around Facebook, which is where people are offering that you can message them to ask about the makeup or the something that they're selling, which says, I need help and I do not have anybody. And I've seen quite a few of those on my page where people have posted on my personal page, if anybody needs this, please send it to somebody you might, and you can text and say, I'm messaging you, and if you say that, it means this number needs help, this mobile or this Facebook address needs help. There were 400 more arrests for domestic and violence. Yeah. It's about finding I think very much with clients that I've had as well. If we look at different types of clients where domestic abuse is concerned, the reason it can get to such violent ends is family don't help sometimes. The very people you think you can count on, and it takes away your feeling of being able to ever be helped by anybody. And so that's why, this hasn't happened when it's 40 years ago. We don't just have a home phone that someone can unplug. There are ways, but sometimes one message out is their only chance, and on lockdown, they're being looked at all the time. So there's got to be ways. I know if you go into bars, you can ask for certain things, can't you? Which means that you're not safe and you need to be, get a cab called home. I can't remember what it is now. We saw it, didn't we, honey, when we've been into places? Yeah. On the back of in a lot of Brighton, on the back of toilet doors in Brighton, if you go into bars or restaurants, it says if you're with somebody who's abusing you, just go up to the bar and ask such and such, and they'll make sure you don't leave together. So yeah, that's it. It's one of the issues that's not the health issue, but is a mental health issue that comes with this pandemic.
It is, because it makes you feel like it's just you at the time, when all this, because they section you off usually from other people as well.
Take you away from those who love you by turning, you against each other, don't they? I think that one of the things with the fabulous aspects from Saturn, even though he's old Father Time, we've had the pink moon, and it's about letting ourselves be taught. So don't be one of those people who sits in a situation where you're saying, I am here and I'm so unhappy and I can't get out. In this day and age, we can get you out somehow. I had a follower of mine this morning who's in a very bad relationship and whose partner will not move out the house and has a very young child, and there was nothing that person could do, and they're stuck. And it's, who do they go to? Because everybody's saying, well, you're stuck, you're in lockdown now. But there are, and through calling people, we found together this morning that there are people that you can call, and there are different things. So hopefully, as long as she can find a safe place now, people are allowed to move her. They get a special piece of paper or a text to say why, for her safety. So a lot going on in the world, isn't there?
Absolutely, because Belinda, if you put a dot in the middle of your palm here when you are in public, tells you and can't say it out loud. I think, Belinda, whereabouts are you? Let us know where you are, sweetheart.
I think she's in the USA, Lara.
Sorry?
I think she's in the USA. Because she's put the USA helpline, so I think she's in the USA.
Right. Oh, is it called Linda, Claire? I think I read that.
No, I don't think it was called Linda. I'm trying to think what it is. We might have to Google it, actually, and have a look.
Actually, Sharon says she thinks she's got the wrong name, but it's probably Angela that she's talking about.
Angela. It is Angela.
Yeah, it's probably Angela. No. That sounds familiar. Natasha said she would love to come on.
I don't think we need that one right now because we can't actually go out to bars and restaurants. I think it's got to be about a number of people can access. Some people aren't allowed to use their phones. I hear this from clients, but they are allowed on Facebook. So I think the fact that I'm so honored that you and I have got so many followers and we're having such a good time on Facebook, I feel it's time to pay it back. And I'm thinking of ways that we can create a platform and we maybe can have a word. But if there's a national word that can be used on Facebook, then I think we need to find out what it is.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to say. Right, I'm going to shuffle my cards, just give it a wee break from the talking and stuff there. Piper, we'll get back to you with the psychic children just shortly. And what we'll do is, even though that's come up just now with the numbers, I think we'll do a live with Natasha Lothian at some point in the next couple of days, Claire, right, and give this a really good airing about domestic abuse and about making it known, because we're in the houses more, that this could be, a really tough issue for a lot of women and men, because men are also men also get domestic abuse at times. So
absolutely, it's violence isn't sexist, whatever people say. But in Love Styles and Life Signs, 2 of the books that I wrote, I made sure that in the books we had helplines for everybody. For you need the helplines for money, debt advisor, because sometimes it's the money problems that then create the drinking, that create the violence, or that can bring out the worst in people. So a lot of the time you can take somebody to counselling and it can make them worse. So it's about finding out what kind of character you're dealing with. But most of all, I think at this time it's about saving lives in domestic violence.
And that's right. And what this situation's doing is pushing, it's like a spot that's going to burst, isn't it, at some point? It's pushing any problems that you've got in the household as well. It's forcing them to come up and to be dealt with.
look at the combination that we have. We have people losing their jobs. They can't pay their rent or their mortgage. Some people are having an outside life and they have to give that up and live with the people that they were trying to work through with slowly in a very insulated manner. And it's a chemical reaction that is explosive, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It is it's like dynamite, isn't it? It's like asking.
It's Russian roulette, isn't
it? But in actual fact, if you were intending to leave the situation, this is probably going to exacerbate that. If you're intending to try and work at the situation, even though the circumstances were not ideal and there was abuse there before, it's probably going to bring it to a head with that, to make sure that what you were thinking was actually right to begin with, just an act upon it.
My message for all women out there, whatever age you are, if there is any sniff of violence in a relationship, before you think about being Florence Nightingale, before you think, poor him, he's got issues and I need to help him, safety first. And also for all your mums out there, realize that how you act in relationships and what you allow to happen to you is how your children will allow themselves to be treated in the future. So we're taking care of future generations now by staying in. Let's take care of them by the way we behave when we're in as well. Yes,
exactly. Thank you so much, Claire, says Natasha. Just sitting here listening to Lara and what she said brought tears to my eyes. No, seriously, we mean it. We'll get on because it's let's discuss some real issues. We've got Piper on today. Well, actually, to be honest, we were meant to be on our Instagram. We couldn't find the program in order to
I don't know how I've got an Instagram. I don't go on
there. So you ended up with us. In actual fact, it's like when the student's ready, the teacher appears, right? I want to say that a lot of children have been born awake. Do not be surprised if you feel like you're being schooled by your kids, people out there, right?
I've got to say, honey, come here a minute. We haven't fallen out yet, our family. We've had the best time. And honey and I are sat here in our back garden. We've been reading our books. And I do my sort of allotted time of hours with my clients or writing June dailies as I'm doing at the moment. And we're quite chilled, actually, aren't we? I'm liking a slower pace of life because you know me, I'm Speedy Gonzales.
Yes.
I'm odd being slow.
All right. Norma, I'm going to pick a couple of cards for you, sweetheart. I've seen that you've been sharing a lot. So for those of you in doubt, do have the cards here, just in case you were all panicking, thinking, I'm in meltdown, and they're just talking about anything. So they are waiting. Okay, a couple of cards for you, Norma. I'm not sure how things have been with you because some of the comments went up pretty quickly there, I've got to say. And if you've not done so already, please like and follow my page, Claire Petulengro, follow Claire Petulengro, and Piper-janelishman, follow Piper as well. She's got a young lady with a lot to say, right? And if you're having problems with your teens right now, then Piper could be the answer that you're looking for to be able to communicate to you in a way that is actually happening with the children now, aren't they, Piper? They're more awake. These children,
yeah.
You know, they're more switched on. They've got more information that they're access to as well. So don't be under any false illusions that there's probably in many areas they know more than even we do. All right, that we've had experience. But Norma, darling, if you're there, we've got the decision-making card here for you, and it looks like there's been a bit of stress round about. Look at that guy in the chariot, whopping things into shape, and no more. See, but there's probably a reason why we're talking about abuse as well, because I feel like I want to mention it here where Norma's concerned, you know, and any family members that are staying, because I feel that Norma is wanting to look after her son or her child. You know, perhaps he's maybe being the subject of, you know, people abusing him or you know, in that category. But either way, I've got stressful situation. It looks like something's been triggered, and I feel that probably being hot housed, as we call it. We're not hot housed out there at the moment. We're hot housed indoors, aren't we? We're like seeds being planted in plant pots at the moment. All right, so we need to give it the ideal environment and conditions and give it lots of nourishment and water and, you know, love, and maybe even talk to it, you know, from time to time as well. But here, right, Norma, it looks like I need to batten down the hatches here. You need to batten down the hatches, keep all the external things out, and understand that, you know, yeah, it is a high pressurized situation, but everything's going to be okay. I feel that it's something to do with breathing technique. I want to say, do you do meditation? All right, and maybe to self-focus more on that so that it cuts the anxiety signal, the crazy 8 loop, right, within your own system there. Okay, you want something to add, Claire?
I have. You were saying about Norma and that you had a feeling that she'd been in an abusive relationship before. I picked up on that, and I've just scrolled back down. Norma had commented before, I went through 13 years of hell. Norma, bless you. So you were right. Before I could get out of it. And I'm just intrigued, Lara, to join that point together, because I want to put the importance of what you've said on, that after what she's confirmed she went through, like you said, let's not let bad habits come in the mix for her. You know, of letting people take advantage again. Do you get that?
She's very empathic, is Norma. That's what I have gauged, you know, with her. She's always supporting us, always sharing, always, you know, very empathic.
What were we talking about last night? We were talking, weren't we, on Derek's page about the fact when we finish work, that you and I don't have any problem with being a mum and being stupid and being ourselves and not taking our work with us, because it's you can't exist, you can't do what we do otherwise. And I think that when we were talking about that last night, it's very potent, isn't it? That Norma's got to not take her experiences again and take everybody else's problems on. And if she's an empath, like you said, then chances are she's feeling everyone else's pain and making it her responsibility.
Well, that's right. You see, what you've got to, there's different types. When we're in a working capacity, in that higher energy, higher self energy, right, we have no problem disconnecting from it. But as an empath, be honest, Claire, be honest, Piper, right, isn't it hard to stop caring about people that you care about?
That's why I don't have friends as clients, because it's too difficult. My mum told me the rule when I was a kid. I never believed it. I tried to break it, and time again, your feelings
or you end up with friends that just want something from you all the time.
My mum says
women manage their life for them. Listen, this is a bit controversial. Women and men who experience violence need to rescue themselves, not be rescued or rescuers.
Right, I did have something very important to say. Sorry to interrupt you. The good thing about us all being on together is that I get a chance to have a look a little bit closer at the comments. And Ian Rawlinson has commented, and we'll make sure that we post this afterwards on all of our pages, Piper and Lara's too. On Facebook, if you see a post you have concern over, or in the same way, if you were being abused, if you tap the 3 dots on the top right, it gives an option for concern. Facebook will get in touch with that person, and it was put in touch as a possible suicide prevention. So guys, if you can't get to a phone, but you can get to Facebook on a device and you are in danger, on Facebook, you tap 3 dots on the top right of your post or a post. Right. And then Facebook will have the means to get in touch with your Facebook to see what the problem is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oops. Definitely. Right, that's great. Okay, then, Norma, I hope you got that. With regards to Lorna Saville, great to have you on here, Lorna, as well. Big hello, Lorna, is another fellow medium.
Norma said a very big thank you, Lara, Claire and Piper.
Yeah. Oh, yes, so she did. Very, very good.
Nicole Nickton would love to see Norma's artwork one day.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing, Lara. I'm not joking, because Norma sent it the other day on Messenger, and I was just like, I wish I could draw like that.
She is. She sends me it as well. It's really amazing. Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure I must have some. I've had some wonderful things sent by artists. There's so many talented guys out there, honestly.
There is. Chloe Needham here. Hi, Chloe. Great to have you. Darshik is here. Hello, ladies. Nicole Nickturn as well is saying please. All right, so let's have a wee look. Rachel Potter in the house, and Belinda Comer as well. As you know.
Shall I take Rachel Potter?
I want to address this about, see, when somebody is in that situation of being abused, it's the hardest thing in the world to say to anybody else, because we feel shame as women. And I think some men feel shame as well. It's that shame feeling. So it's all very well saying we've got to rescue ourselves. That works in other areas, but some situations, it's a downright near impossibility to rescue yourself. And this is why you need the support of other people. It's like an extended family, isn't it?
What I've learned over the years with clients and from my own personal situation in the past is that very often we go to the people that we think will help, who are the ones that don't help. And because who we thought would help, which might be a family member, when they don't help, you shut the door. You think that no one else will help you. And so sometimes it's about not going to those who are emotionally involved, but about going to the authorities. You know, let's cut to the chase. Go to someone that the abuser's scared of.
So I've been abused as well, right? I just don't share it or talk about it because my children don't like me talking about it because it makes me feel bad.
It's a part of my makeup which has made me who I am today, and I'm proud of who I am today. I've worked hard to get to who I am, and I don't dwell on it. And I've taken the lessons that I've learned from it, but I won't take a year and a half of my life, or a day in someone's life, or 10 years of my life, and let it ruin the amazing children and partner that I've got now, because then they win. And so we're happy. And I think that revenge is best by living a successful life with no resentment.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what my dad says. Revenge is the best success. And I think that's why I work to the place I'm here right now, probably because of that very same thing, because my dad told me that years ago. But this isn't as wonderful, and it's so necessary to talk like this. We can come back on the live afterwards. Yet we want to hear what Piper has to say about today's children.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. No, I was going to say something really quickly about mental health and everything, especially with teenagers. It has a very large ripple effect. I know I was told that when I was in counselling and therapy and everything. It does have a very large ripple effect, especially when I'm either really upset, because I know when I'm really upset, I do shut my doors. Claire, things you've just said, I completely relate to it, because I've been to talk to other people, some people I thought I was close with, and they've just shut me down. I've just cried and just be like, well, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll just bottle it up. But I definitely do think it's a ripple effect, because when I'm annoyed at someone or they've upset me, I'll then take it out on my mum, and then my mum will take it out on my friends or my sister. It's quite a dangerous thing, to be honest. That's why I don't talk to anyone really.
That's exactly. No, right. I hear what you're saying there, right? And what they've done is, by telling you there's a large ripple effect, but in actual fact, I'm trying to find a way of saying this. You should be able to tell your mum, and your mum doesn't do that ripple effect with everybody, right? Your mum's the wall that you need. She's that source of feedback that you need. But it's really hard as a single parent, right?
Yeah.
Because she needs somebody to be able to share that with, because it can be quite a burden for a parent to carry, of the child is suffering in that way. I had a child that self-harmed. And he's absolutely fine, and he's living, a great life now. But he was being bullied at school, not unlike yourself, right? From the friends. He's actually friends with those people now. Can I just say that? A couple of those people, now. Wow. So he made friends, but I worry, because I think as he sold himself out somewhere along the line, or made himself, that confident part within you.
Question for you: do you like who those friends have become to him now? Long lady.
I can't say I ever have an opinion on my children's friends, right? You have to, when they get older, respect their choice of a friend. Okay, who they want to be friends with and who I want them to be friends with. This is what I learned are two totally different things. If it was up to me, I'd have them all sectioned off and living in this big house with me until they were 90. By the way.
I love it. Oh my God! Do you know what? We all need to buy a big island, don't we? And all have our own sections.
Exactly what it is, right?
And then esoteric party.
And just missing a big brother, right? So what I did was, I've got 4 sons and a daughter, and I had a daughter that died as well. I've actually got 6 children. And before anybody says or thinks, oh my God, that woman never had a telly, I had to work bloody hard to get those kids, right? I had 14 pregnancies, right, to make sure I had the children, healthy children, right? Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people, see, when I put it in that context, right, that it's a ratio of less than half worked out when you look at it like that. All right, it was hard, but I was determined, right? I had to finish on a good note. I couldn't finish on a bad note, right? And that's Tabitha, my youngest daughter. She's 18.
I love that. Do you know what? I love all your children.
They are as well. Amazing, yeah. So what I'm going to say, Piper, is that my daughter, I always wanted my daughter to have big brothers because I'm an older daughter, right? And Piper, you've got an older sister, but there's a little bit of an age gap, isn't there, between you, right?
Yeah, I've got So I've got a half sister as well. She lives in Windermere, but we do class each other as full. Yeah, but me and my sister, my actual full sister, we've got 6 years between us. So, but she's moved out now, so I never really see her. And at the moment, she's absolutely exhausted.
I've learnt over the years that no family is what they claim to be, and that there are always skeletons in closets. I've had women come for readings with the husband, with a newborn baby. He's taken the baby outside while they sit down to have their hands read. And straight away I've said, it's not his, is it? And she's gone, no, but he thinks it is. There's so many different ways. I mean, the thing Lara and I have in common is I also raised 6, but I gave birth to 4. And I have a stepson and a niece I raised as my own, who I class as, my other daughter. And so life brings you children in different ways. The difference is, when my grandmother used to tell me tales of when she gave readings, it was the women in the sort of Second World War whose sister was unmarried and had got pregnant. So the married one raised it as her child, and then they found out their auntie was their mother. There is always dysfunctional families. And I think it's about finding family that understand that however you've come together as a group, if you're a good person, you can stay. But I think it's also a time in the lockdown to get rid of relationships that are negative for you, because we can only take so much pressure in lockdown. So it's time to cut the umbilical cord of those that don't help you. Can I quickly say, I have to say, somebody just gave a really nice shout out to Lara about a reading that you did for them.
All right, I haven't, it hasn't come through here, is it? A minute.
Hold on. Laura Ann Renwick.
Lara Ann Renwick, she was a client, and she became a student, and now Laura does the most amazing psychic art. I did an interview with Laura a couple of weeks ago on my Facebook page further back. One of the most talented young women that I know. Can I just say that? To enlighten me on my intuition, I wish I'd known more about myself sooner. Laura's saying that for Piper's benefit, I think, because and thank you very much for the shout out and saying that, and for being on here and she's backing Piper up. She's trying to say to Piper, listen to what we're talking about, probably with intuition. Listen, you might be 15, but you're quite mature in a lot of ways, Piper, and that's the conflict, isn't it? People look at you, oh my God, they think you're older than you actually are, and in actual fact, you're only 15. It's a great get out of jail free card, but it goes right against you in other ways. I have children who are in their early 20s, right? And it really hacks them off. One of their bugbears, one in particular, is that he was born old. Can I just say that, right? He is like this wee wise old man, right, in this 21, 22-year-old body, and I listen to him when he talks. Can I just say that? Right?
That's like Paris, my son.
Yeah, exactly like Paris, I must say. And he said it when older people, like much talking to him, like he doesn't understand what they're talking about, when he actually probably knows more about it than they do, and he's having to suck it up because he's only 21. Right? He says, nobody listens to you. I said, I understand that. Exactly. I remember thinking I could give the same advice as a medium and clairvoyant in my 20s as I would in my late 30s, but they would listen to me more in my late 30s because I had age on my side. They thought I'd earned that right.
See, that's what I say to my kids. The older and uglier I get, the more popular I'll be, because I'll look more witchy, But can I just say quickly, Laura Ann Renwick?
Yeah.
If she wrote a book about her life, I'd bloody well buy it. I just get the feeling that if I saw her book about her with that picture on the cover, I'd just feel that I'd be going almost to somebody that's a character like next to the Seine in Paris, that belongs somewhere but belongs to millions of different countries as well, and is all different cultures in herself to explore. There's like a rainbow of colour.
Absolutely. She's got 2 children now, Laura, and she's got a partner, a long-term partner. And she really focuses on serving people and helping people. She's very empathic. But if you see her at the art, I think I posted some pictures. Did you see that one, Piper, where I was connecting in and she was drawing the people, and she drew 3 pictures? Yeah, they were wow. Right.
You should be doing a split screen live with her. That sounds incredible.
We did. That's what we were doing at the time. This a couple of weeks ago, I think, when your
was I snotty in bed?
Yeah, I think that your voice has started going by that time. But Laura's put that up there for Piper to let her know by using your intuition and following those rules instead, and learn to disregard what society is showing you. right? You learn not to care about that, but rather not care about yourself, not care about how you're feeling. It's just a detour rather than we're not going to go through that wall because that's going to be a solid brick wall. We're going to drive round about it instead. And you're going to arrive at womanhood because Laura is in her late 20s now, sorry. I think she's coming up to late 20s, sort of maybe even 30 actually, Laura. Are you 30 this year, Laura? I've got this thing in the back of my head that you must be getting close to that. But
it sounds like a Saturn return age, doesn't it?
Yes, it definitely does. It definitely does.
Yes,
Saturn was returning this year. My eldest son turned 30 as well. And I think Laura's paying a lot of credit to the fact that it might be disregarded as a technique that, you know, look at parents. I had a 16-year-old daughter book in with me and her mother messaged me a shitload of abuse and stuff like that. And she's 16, because at 14 to 16, because 16 is the age in Scotland that you can get married, you see, without your parents' permission. Not like, it's not like England and Wales are 18. Yes, you can come and elope up here. So 14 to 16, they need their mum's permission for me to interact with them. But I got Piper's mum, Yvonne's permission, as did Claire did, right at the start. And I would say, in the time that we've known you, Piper, you have blossomed, right? You've evolved. You have got more confident. I think maybe you just need people telling you that, right? Which is part of being 15, rather than your friends, you know, like, oh, go on, Piper, you know, yes, you can do that. It's having the ability to make it look like you're one of them, but not buy into what they're doing underneath, right?
Can I say something?
Don't lose face, okay? But don't buy into whatever it is that they're doing, right? You walk away and you do your own thing. After a while, let me tell you, I'm not friends with anybody that I went to school with. Right? That's how much they mean later on down the line in your life.
Yeah, it's just like popularity and stuff now, because I was saying it on my live the other day, there's like so many people in like schools and secondary schools, especially here in like Borough where I'm from. There's just so many people like with popularity, and popularity's so good. It's not, because when you get a job, none of that's going to matter, because you're not going to be in school. There's going to be none of this, oh, do you like her? She's popular. No.
Can I say something?
I don't think it's right.
Say. What I see with Piper is I see a beautiful young lady who I'm desperate for her to be a young lady and not be too mature before her time. And I think that your esoteric path, your poetry path, your writing path, the ability to be, you know, a personality on social media is excellent. But many, many years ago, and I say I'm 48 now, when I was 16, I was working for the BBC and I met a really famous producer and I was offered some really good jobs, you know, this young clairvoyant at 16. And she actually took me to one side and she said, I think you're so mature for your age, Claire. She said, but go see the world. Go see what the world is about. And with Piper, it's almost like you've got your sights set on certain things. And I think that you should have an ambition and a dream. And whether that's to write a book or write a song or achieve what you want. What I think the problem is, because I saw your mum's comment just now, is your mum says that you don't communicate with her. At the moment, the way you communicate, you can't communicate the way she wants to. So there's a communication problem going both ways. So you need to find ways that you feel comfortable communicating with mum. And you also need to find an outsource, because your anger sometimes within is almost like this eccentric behavior where it's like, oh, okay, Piper, that's a bit extreme, but it's not. So we need to work out how to not have that build up and not have that bang for Piper, so that you're seen with more respect and dignity by those around you. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Be a kid as well, you know what I mean? I went to America. When I was given that advice, I was doing readings on the pier 7 days a week, 10 a.m. till 10 p.m., doing everything that I do. And I went over and I nannied in America, and I had, I think, $50 a week I earned, and I had no money, and I met the best nannies I'm still friends with from Germany. And then, of course, being Claire, I went and started doing readings at the housekeeper's house, you know, in New Jersey, and I was still doing tarot readings and working for the radio there. So I always went back. But get the inner child and you go have some fun, you know, go do some things that are about you, being childish. Because the thing with someone like you, Piper, is whether you get to 80, 90 or 100 years old, you will still be a naughty old woman. The inner child in you is there for life, isn't it, Lara?
Absolutely. Shannon Stewart saying, Piper, she said Pippa, but Piper, we're here for you. Big hugs. You know what, Piper?
Thank you.
It's just a case of getting through school. There's always a homeschooling option, as well. All right.
I'm going to have to bow out, guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Oh, just completely showed you my dress. I didn't realize I had a 3 o'clock. You've been texting me. I didn't realize I was showing you my skirt then either.
I was going to pop off in a couple of minutes anyway, so I was. And then we can maybe go back on and do it later on.
Do you not think it would be a nice idea to pick out some people and to do some intense readings like this on split screens as well?
Oh, yeah. That's what we do normally.
Oh, I've been in bed. Sorry.
You've been in bed. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I thought this was really cool.
I'm practically nearly every day having a Piper. Come on, tell her.
But can I do this from? I've got to go. Can I do this from mine as well? You have to teach me next week.
Yeah, definitely, because it just puts all the comments. It's easier to see the comments if they like and follow the page. So guys, please follow at clairpetulengro, like as well, and Piper-Janelishman as well.
Are we live on
my group?
We're still live. We're still live.
Text me later whether we're going live on Derek's.
I love you. Do what you've got to do. Bye, sweetheart. Bye. Yeah, that's her. We've booted her off. Right, she's waved, and I can still see her because she hasn't actually come off it.
Yeah, and also my live, not my live. What do you call it? My group. Also my group as well for people with struggling with mental health. But I'm gonna have to. Today actually, I'm gonna think of doing something with that. I'm not sure yet though, but I'm thinking later on. Blooming heck, it's 7 minutes past 3. Today's gone fast.
It's gone really fast, hasn't it? You can see how you get what you do lives and stuff. It's not just about doing the live, guys. It's about the preparation before. It's about allowing the time. It's getting a mind centered and stuff. And then afterwards, you have to go and get a cup of tea, right? Just take, a little bit of time from that and then go and do your other work, then come back and do another live. So it can be quite demanding. And like you've been on quite a while, can I just say, you probably will be tired afterwards. You weren't feeling great anyway. You had a headache and things, weren't you?
Gone now though, thank the Lord.
Maybe the headache is hormonal or stress or whatever. So Belinda Comer, I want to pick a couple of cards for you before we go any further. Couple of cards we have got here. Decisions need to be made regarding your life, Belinda. All right, it looks like they've been going in one direction, but there is a change of direction there. And we've got fresh fruit, vegetables, minerals and vitamins, but each different bit there represents a different opportunity. So it's kind of like the universe has been saving it for you. That makes sense. All right. So the judgment card there is not to be too hard on yourself, too judgmental on other people or yourself, because it always has a kind of backlash energetically. And I also feel that there's a woman, a mum type and a mum energy over there who I feel that wants to say hello as well. She said you've been suffering lately, and I feel you being sad. I feel you being, down, and I feel you that platform you're waiting for to bring you back up has kind of been a bit iffy of late. But I think it's disconnect from that which is bothering you in the outside. Understand you're one person, you can't deal with all of that, and just bring your energy in and focus on that own personal vortex. Okay. Hello to Andrea Smith, she just popped on as well. Natasha Lothan, when are you doing it, Piper, for people? Oh, hang on. Natasha, oh Christ, because it keeps jumping up. When are you doing it for Piper for people with mental health? I have mental health. There you go, Natasha. You have a fan. Look.
Probably later on, but it'll be on my group Heal the Mind, because obviously it's a safe place. I'm keeping all of that. Fingers crossed, I'm going to keep it safe. There's not been any issues so far, so good. That's good.
That's very good. And if it's good, I quite often do that with my coaching clients, by the way. I tell them to do video blogs every day. What you're doing is doing like a live blog, aren't you, every day?
Yeah, it's so much easier.
It is, isn't it, than doing the video? I totally agree with you. For ages we were taught to do videos, weren't we, and post videos and stuff, and it's so plittery, and having to, that the live part is just like you learn. If you're a flow person, lives are the best thing for you, because you can flow in and flow back out, not the old stop-start. But you've done amazingly well today. We haven't talked a massive amount about psychic children and helping people. It's been great that Lara was able to share, how, because she's now nearly 12 years down the line. So I've known you, Lara, for 12 years. Can't believe it. We met in an army base, by the way, when Lara was working in the shop area, right? And I came in to do readings for people and do like a demonstration stuff, right? I had somebody in the inside that would organise events inside the army camp, because you get a lot of people, you know, living there and that, and they need stuff to do as well. So that's how I met Laura, right? And how Laura's still in the vicinity years down the line. You know, she grew, she evolved. I read for her at various points. I advised her, right? She has a relationship with her mum, and she has a relationship with her sister and stuff like another family members, but they lived far apart. And so sometimes you just need, this is what, remember the olden days, everybody's doors were open. We all brought, it takes a village to bring a child up. Can I just say that? It takes a village. We have single parents doing it nowadays, guys, with no connection to family, people round about them because they're living in a different part of the country because of, you know, work commitments perhaps and stuff. So it can be a lonely place for a parent, right? It's a lot of responsibility, you know, on mum and that. And I think because you're very mindful of that, she's very lucky, your mum, that you're very mindful of that. But you've still got your growing up stuff to do and things as well. But you know what? I think, Piper, you're a bit like me. I always got on better with adults.
Yes, I don't know why. It's just when I talk about stuff like this on my lives, people just, well, not people, but my generation just don't seem to take it seriously. I don't know why. It's not everyone. It's a little minority group.
See these? The power of cards, right? You learn to have a tool like this, then you can help these people when they're looking at something like that, because you're clairvoyantly giving it to them, right? They can accept that far more than a 15-year-old telling them, I think you're being an idiot for doing that.
Yeah.
They will believe those better, right? So it's a tool to have a voice, to speak the truth. You just have to watch you don't be critical with it. There's a difference between speaking the truth and being a know-it-all. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I was saying in my lesson the other day, you know, that kind of, when you gather information, you're familiar with the people, aren't you? Where they just want to know everything about everything, but for the one purpose that they want to use it to criticize and to levitate themselves up more, to be more superior, you know, in that way. Because fundamentally, people fear people that are able to connect in and say the truth. Nobody wants to know the truth. As in, they don't want other people to have that truth revealed to them. Right? Their own truth. People are protective over their truth. It's part of who they are. Okay. Jay said, awesome. My son may benefit from being in the group. He struggled with serious bullying. Jay, get your son to connect with Piper here. Can I just say, was it the other day we were doing I was on your live, wasn't it? And there was a young guy that came on there who plays football for Liverpool, right? He's 14, 15-year-old, and he showed up, Piper. Now him I respect.
Yeah.
Okay. He came on, it was just me on there, and he showed up and he wasn't afraid to think. Now that takes courage. It'd be interesting to see how that young man does with his football career.
Yeah. I mean, I can keep it all updated because I'll just Snapchat him mostly, but yeah, I'll keep them all updated. My words are so bad today. I'm not coming up with my words.
As the full moon, it's starting to sort of separate from our energy type thing. Piper, I suggest you use crystals or colours. Hang on. As that's what my guides suggest. Lorna's a very, very experienced medium. She does transfiguration, does all sorts of work. Lovely woman. And don't get me talking about the story, Lorna, when you and I went to that group in Gretna. Can you remember? We got thrown out. We got oh my God, we hadn't seen anything like it. Lorna, we're still recovering, aren't we, sweetheart? Anyway, listen, Piper, we haven't done a huge amount of readings, I promise everybody. Listen, I'm even thinking about popping over to Instagram in a couple of hours type thing. Piper's going to give my ass a kick, aren't you, Piper? Right, later on. If you feel up to, if not, we can do it tomorrow. It's absolutely fine. But I'll try and make a point of coming on, even if it's on Facebook later on, and doing some more readings. But I'm going to say love to everybody, Piper. Actually, I think the guys and girls have loved hearing your input on here. Honestly, I think it's silly for us parents not to listen to somebody like yourself, because most of the time we're scratching our head, look like, you know, somebody from Laurel and Hardy. You wouldn't remember the black and white. I don't know if you remember Laurel and Hardy from years ago, you know, like that. look like somebody
Yeah, Laurel and
confused because these kids don't get handbooks, do they, guys? Right? We're just making it up as we go along, seriously.
Yeah, I only know about Laurel and Hardy because it was either Laurel or Hardy that was born in Ulverston, and I'm from Barrow, so it's only up the road, and there's like a great massive statue of them.
No way. How relevant was that? Sharon Stewart saying, Piper, you feel at ease because you're with your soul family. It's probably a relief, Piper, to be able to communicate. So you understand your frustration is from feeling or perceiving that you're not able to communicate the way that you need to communicate, or you're not going to be heard how you mean it. That takes practice. Honestly, it takes practice.
Yeah, just quick 2 things, Lara. Also, if you're going live later on Instagram, I could join you. Also, mainly because I could. Wait, are you familiar with Instagram?
I've been live once.
So to be honest, I am quite familiar with Instagram, so I could help you and show you. But also, do you know what I was saying about young kids, and obviously you were saying about awake children? Literally, I went live before to let people know about what I was doing. Within 30 seconds, I had 45 people on, so it would definitely be quite good.
Oh my God.
Go
yeah, that's brilliant. Oh, good God. No, I'm going to feel intimidated now. I'm just a way to get my confidence shawl on. I'll be like, no nails left by the time I finish. Right, okay, well, let me know how you're feeling later on, okay?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to say a big hello and bye-bye to everybody. I'll be back later, do readings and stuff like that, and really, give it a bit more of a motivation there with that thing. Thank you for calling in and listening to Piper and Claire and myself. Really means the world to us. I think even to have an outlet, like this, we're going to be okay, kids, coming through this. You know that? We're going to be okay. All right, so bye-bye for now, everybody. Take care and lots of love.